I'm Chef Lara from larasvegankitchen.com. Welcome to my channel and thanks for watching. As my channel is new, I'm very happy about every new subscriber, so please hit the subscribe button, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own easy vegan sauerkraut. Let's get started. So I'm taking a half cabbage head and I'm just buying it like this in the store, and I remove the plastic wrapper first. And then I always remove the outer leaves as well. And then just check if there are any particles which are not that nice and remove them. Okay, and then I'm just going to slice it very thinly. Take a big knife, it makes life more easy. So, and then I always make them a little bit shorter, that all the leaves or all the pieces are quite small. And if there are like bigger chunks, I'm just cutting them as well. So while I'm preparing it, I already take 1 spoon of pink Himalayan salt, so it can start to soften up. Mix it a little bit and just leave it like that. So then the next third of the head, and also here I'm cutting the pieces a little bit smaller. So today I'm using the green cabbage, but you can also use any purple cabbage and make pink sauerkraut, which looks pretty nice as well. It's the same way and same effect. So again, I'm putting 1 tablespoon of salt. So this is a little bit big and I just cut it. And the next third. So this part we just discharge, and also just the end part, and this I'm just cutting a little bit smaller. Like the thinner and finer all the parts are, the better. And the easier it is also to knead it. Here's also, you can see part of the stem, so I'm just going to remove it as well. And the end parts I'm usually just cutting very small. So these guys also cut it in half. So the easier it is, the thinner you cut it from the beginning. And of course, always be careful to not cut yourself. Easiest way to avoid cutting yourself is when you hold something with the fingernails a little bit inside and then just slice and move slowly with the fingernails back. So that's it with cutting. And then I'm going to put the last tablespoon of Himalayan salt. And now it's time to mix. Even how crunchy it is. So now I'm just giving it a rough mix and knead. And while you're kneading already, you feel that that the cabbage is releasing some water. And this is exactly what we're looking for. Mix everything nicely. Now it looks already very watery. And that's it for now. I'm going to leave this to rest for about 10-15 minutes and then we're giving it a second knead. So this is how it looks now, right now. And see you in 15 minutes. So now after 15 minutes the cabbage got much more watery already, which is great. And I'm continuing to knead it. And you can see here already some juice, sauerkraut juice. The longer you knead, the more liquid you will get, and also this is what is desired to make a better sauerkraut. So, and these two jars I'm going to fill the sauerkraut in, or the cabbage to make it sauerkraut. I boiled it before in hot water, or you can boil hot water and fill it inside and leave it till it's cooling down, just in order to disinfect it. because it's really important that it's really clean. And this is optional, but I really like the taste of it, so I'm putting 2 halves of 1 garlic clove in each jar. This is just to flavor the sauerkraut, and a few black peppercorns. It gives the kraut a little bit stronger taste. So now there's a lot of liquid already, and the cabbage is very soft. So this is your indicator that you can put it in the jars. So that should be enough. Now I'm going to fill it inside the jars. It depends a little bit on how big is your cabbage head. If it's bigger, also you can add 1 more spoon of salt. You can also put it for this, but I feel then it gets too salty for my taste. So 3 tablespoons are just perfect for the size of this head. But of course, if the head is bigger than the one I used, feel free to add another spoon of salt. So now this is just perfect for these 2 jars. And I have the liquid, and I just put it half. So, and I'm going to fill it up with some water. I just quickly washed my hands. So now I take some filtered water and fill the jars up, just that they're right covered. And it's important that you have about 1.5 centimeter space, because the kraut will expand during its process, during its fermentation process. And I'm just mixing it, because you have a lot of air bubbles inside, and it's good to get them out so the kraut can ferment properly and not build any mold inside. So there's still some bubbles on the side. This is what I got out, and I just go with the fork till the ground and move it a little bit. So we're getting all the bubbles out. And the same with the second. I'm just moving it a little bit, the cabbage to the middle, so all the bubbles can release. So make sure that your fork is properly cleaned, and of course the hands before you start working. And now all the cabbage is just covered by water. Then I'm closing it, and I keep it in a dark and dry space at room temperature. I just put it in my kitchen cabinet, and tomorrow I'm going to show you the next step. So today is day 2 of the sauerkraut fermentation process, and I'm removing the lids. And small bubbles start to appear already. And the only thing I'm doing is I'm taking a clean fork and give it a little stir. I go all the way down to the bottom of the glass and move the sauerkraut so air bubbles can be released, and just to make sure that the fermentation process goes well. And you can see there are some more bubbles are coming up. So then I make sure that all the cabbage is covered. And I close the lid again and put it back in the dry and cool place, or room temperature place, and it's supposed to be dark. The cabbage starts to have a distinctive smell, so don't worry about that. I will show you the next step tomorrow. So the next day I'm going to open the glasses, and again we have some little bubbles, and I'm just doing the same step as before, moving the kraut from the base so all the bubbles can come up. And here as well. So the cabbage can come up as well, so that's why it's important that there is some extra space in the glass. And then I'm going to push it down a little bit. Always make sure that all the cabbage is covered with the liquid. And then I'm going to close it again and put it back to rest, and we will see the next step tomorrow. So the next day, and I'm opening the lids, and again I have a fresh and clean fork and just mix it a little bit, move them from the ground. And still there are bubbles. The fermentation process can be also a little bit more. It means there can be much more bubbles, and even the cabbage can come up a little bit. And if that's the case here, now also it got a little bit up. So I'm pushing it down. And sometimes you would even need to add some extra water if it gets too high. And then you just add some filtered water to cover the cabbage as well. And that's it again. And I'm closing it and put it back in the shelf. So now the next day I'm opening the jars again. And there are no bubbles anymore, and I'm just mixing it one more time. But as there are no bubbles coming up anymore, that means the fermentation process is done. It is possible that it's a little bit more foamy than you could see so far in my video. Also no worries for that. And even if it gets a little bit higher and you feel like you need more liquid, just fill it up with a little bit more filtered water. Okay, also the smell is different than when the fermentation process started. It's much more mild now. I'm going to close it and put it now in the fridge. And then you can wait for another few days and then you can start eating it. The longer you keep it in the fridge, the more intense gets the flavor. But the whole process of after 1 week, it's perfectly fine to eat and tastes great as well. And yeah, sauerkraut is very healthy. It has high probiotics and is very good to support the digestion. And it's very tasty, so it can be eaten with every breakfast. Just a little bit to give your stomach a little bit of a health support. And you see how easy it was. And yeah, you can have it all the time. Like usually when my 1 glass is finished, I start to make the next batch of sauerkraut. So once the second is finished, I have already new and fermented fresh sauerkraut. I hope you liked the video, and good luck in trying. So now you know how to make your own easy vegan sauerkraut. Not only can you save a lot of money, but also it's much more healthy this way and fun to do. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you next time!